What can a horse's last two speed figures tell you about how it's going to run in this year's Kentucky Derby? One of the things I've written about in the past is looking at speed figures and how you can use them to assess whether a horse is over the top and likely to regress or still improving. So I wanted to take a look at that again today. This is looking at the Brisnet speed figures for each of the last two speed figures of this year's Kentucky Derby Contenders. And I'll tell you, even though I don't have the chart up, that the extremes is where you start to find the negative returns. Horses that either improve too much or regress too much in their final Kentucky Derby prep. So looking at this year's Contenders, you'll see that Burnham Square, a progression of 1 point, that historically since 1992 has produced a 261 average $2 return and a 122 impact value. Again, with impact values, a 1 is considered average. Anything above 1, the horse is winning more often than it should. Anything less than 1, it is winning less often than it should. So we'll just kind of run through the list. Sandman +6. You'll notice 279, 116. That's a very good profile. Journalism +4. Journalism, I might add, has the top speed figure. So seeing that he's in that range of not being overextended, I think is very good news for those of you backing journalism. Rodriguez, now here's where it starts to get negative. You have a +14 improvement in Rodriguez's last race compared to its previous race. 53-cent average return and a 0.51 impact value. So very poor for Rodriguez. Tistastic looks good. Sovereignty, also good. Final Gamut, let's talk a little bit about him. A 25-point improvement in his last race. And again, you see those negative statistics, 53-cent return and a 0.51 IV. We'll just look at some of the other negatives. East Avenue, a +17. Again, you've got the same return and the same IV. By the way, that bucket is +11 or greater. That's why you're seeing the same impact value and the same return. We could obviously break it down further, but that's when it really starts to turn negative. American Promise, who I really like in a lot of ways, +14, and he too has those negative returns. Grande, the same thing. And that pretty much does it for the negative ones. All the others are positive. This was an interesting year in that normally you'll see a bunch of horses come in that regressed a lot in their final prep. You're not really seeing that this year. So most horses are entering fairly well. Now, if you're interested in speed figures and cycles, definitely check out my Kentucky Derby guide. I did a great study, at least I think it's a great study, on form cycles and speed cycles, looking at the last 3 races, kind of in the vein of Thoroughbred, looking at horses, again, that are going to improve or likely to improve and regress. And of course, by quantifying it all, I can get statistics on this stuff. And it really is a fascinating study. I'll tell you, one of the categories is 1/468, I believe, since 1992. And the only winner was Country House, who, of course, won the Kentucky Derby via DQ. So check that out. It is at Venmo. It's on my website at databasebetting.com. I say it's at Venmo. You can pay via Venmo. It's on my database betting website, and the cost is $20. Thanks very much for watching this video, and we'll have more as we lead up to the first Saturday in May.